What's up, guys? Rev to Redline here. Long time no talk. It's been a while since I've done a vlog, and I apologize for that. Hope you guys are doing great. Have some unfortunate news. We just recently lost a fellow rider out here in San Diego. He was part of our meetup group, and he wrecked doing something any one of us could have done, and that is taking a corner too fast and lost control and maybe had a little bit of target fixation and ended up slamming into a wall. He is pretty much dead on impact, and what's even scarier is he was my age. And it's just kind of a reminder of how easy it is to die on a motorcycle. Just yesterday on my way home from work, I witnessed a guy on his bike get in a wreck. He collided with a car. Wouldn't you know it, the car pulled right in front of him, and he didn't have the reaction time to stop and ended up colliding with the car and was in pretty bad shape. Here's a quick little clip of the wreck as I drove past. He was not wearing any gear, and from what I could see, he was going to regret it with the road rash, but looked like he was going to be okay. So those are really the best wrecks you can have, are the ones where you live. You know, it really gets me thinking back to the reason why I never rode a bike for all these years, and that was one of the main reasons, is how likely was I to die? So if I get this motorcycle, how likely is it that I'm going to die on it? And everybody you talk to says you're going to die. You know, don't get a motorcycle, you're going to die, they're dangerous, it's not worth it. And finally, I decided to get a bike, and I have no regrets whatsoever. And I think what it gets down to is the pleasure of riding outweighs the risk of dying, if that makes sense. So I'm so addicted to riding, and it's such an awesome experience, feeling, that it's worth it. And that's not saying that I want to die by any means, but if I die happy, and I assure you of that. So for those of you who haven't taken the leap and gotten a motorcycle and gotten into riding, I mean, those are the main aspects I would say to consider is, you know, what you value more. And I can tell you what, that riding is one of the most amazing experiences / feelings I've ever felt. Now, with that being said, I kind of want to give some pointers to some of you new riders who are just starting off. And these are, you know, mistakes that you might make or bad habits that you might form. And hopefully these pointers will help you from making those mistakes. Number one being, do not run yellow lights in a motorcycle. One of my closest calls with death was me running a yellow light when I first started riding my bike. And I downshifted and I sped up, and I was gonna haul ass through this intersection, and this chick comes right through, not even looking, and pulls out right in front of me. And I had to do a quick maneuver, came within inches of hitting her car, and I pooped my pants a little. And from that day on, I no longer run yellow lights because it's just not worth it. And just stop. Just stop your bike and wait for the lights to turn green, because you match your bike up with a car and you are not going to win. Now, I run yellow lights all the time in my car, because if I go through an intersection, you know, 40, 50 miles an hour and, you know, collide with another car, you know, I got airbags, I got a full cage, and, you know, I might have some whiplash or, you know, little fender bender, even maybe a severe collision, but I've got a seat belt and I got airbags and I got the cage. If I do that same wreck in a bike, most likely I'm going to be severely injured, if not dead. So I highly advise you not to run yellow lights in a bike. Another thing is, a lot of new riders get intimidated by the power of the bike. Now, if you don't think you can respect the power of the bike that you're getting, do not get a 600. 600s are extremely fast and they have a lot of power, and if you can't respect it, it will definitely get you in trouble. Start with a 300. Now, if you think you're pretty well disciplined and you can, respect the power of a 600, go for it. Get one. Just remember how powerful these bikes are. Now, that being said, if you get yourself in an unsafe situation, use the power of the bike to keep you safe. For example, if you're getting boxed in kind of a sketchy situation with, with some cars and they're boxing you in, you're kind of getting stuck. A beginner rider will most likely slow down, stiffen up, get all stiff with his arms and kind of be all nervous and, not wanting to screw up. But what I do is I actually downshift in that situation and I haul ass out of it. So if I'm stuck in a box, I will do whatever I can to get myself out of it. And you got to remember, you're in an extremely fast bike to where you can be out of that situation within seconds, rather than leaving yourself stuck in it and risking your life or getting smushed or being knocked off your bike or, something even more severe. So just remember that. Use the power of your bike to get you out of scary situations. But like I said, if you're intimidated by it or you don't think you have the discipline for it, start with a 300 and just try not to get yourself into those situations. Another thing starting off as a beginner is learning how to counter steer. And that's probably one of the hardest things that you will ever have to learn. And the reason why it's so hard is because you have to teach your mind to do something that it's learned the opposite of your whole life. So for example, for those who don't know what counter steering is turning your handlebars in the opposite direction of the way you want to turn. So your mind tells you if you turn your handlebars to the left, you're going to turn left. Or vice versa, if you turn your handlebars to the right, you're going to turn right. Well, counter steering actually has an opposite effect. And it's basically if you push against your bar in the opposite direction, your bike will lean that way. So I'll show you a little example here once this light turns green. If you guys will be able to see it on my GoPro, I'm not sure if it's angled enough. Or heck, maybe I could just show you at this light. So if you push your bar this way, you would think your bike's gonna, move to the right. It's actually gonna lean to the left. Same thing happens vice versa. So let's see if I can show you a little example here. Trying to look down here. So I'm gonna push against my left bar, pushing it forward, and I lean. I'm gonna push against my right bar, push it forward, and I lean. That is counter steering. And the reason why counter steering is so important is because it is the thing that will save you in sketchy corners, because if you're confident in power steering, you'll get yourself out of that situation. Now, me personally, one of the hardest things for me to learn was counter steering, and specifically for the reason that I stated, your mind doesn't want you to do it. It's really hard to talk your mind into, hey, if I turn left, I'm gonna go right. It doesn't make sense to your mind, and it's something you have to teach your subconscious to learn. And I've got about 7,500 to 8,000 miles under my belt now, and I can officially say counter steering is definitely just a natural subconscious habit that my mind just does for me. But when you first start riding and you're a beginner, you really got to think about it, and it's really tough to get used to. But your riding skill will improve greatly if you learn how to do it. I'm gonna try to pull up because I think this might be a hot chick. Let's see. Oh! I can't tell if that's a guy or girl, actually. I want to say it's a girl. And I stalled. Nobody saw that. shit. Now, when I first started riding, one of the coolest things I would see was how much unity there was between other riders and other bikers. And I love the fact that, you know, you wave at another biker when you see him. And I even remember as a kid, I would see other riders waving at each other, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. So I thought it was really awesome when I first started riding, just seeing the camaraderie between other bikers and waving at other bikers. But then I started to notice that there was a certain group of riders that purposely ignore sport bikes and refuse to wave at them. And those people are the Harley riders. Now, I'm not sure why they do it, why they don't like sport bikes. I have some guesses. One guess being that they feel superior because they actually ride a Harley, and maybe they think they're better than a Japanese motorcycle. And I will say that even cruisers will wave, but Harley riders will not. Now, I won't say all Harley riders, but I'll say about 85% of Harley riders will not wave at a sport bike. So that was one theory, is, you know, superiority. They think they're better. They're driving an awesome Harley, and they hate them Jap bikes. Then another theory is maybe it's the way we ride, and maybe they see other sport bike riders racing down the street and popping wheelies and riding really unsafe. I guess I could say a third theory is that they're just too lazy and they don't want to waste their time. But I can't go for the third theory because I've actually seen Harley riders wave at another Harley that's in front of me, and then when I wave at them as they pass me, they'll purposely put their arm down because they don't dare wave at a sport bike. Kind of a douchebag thing, and it's kind of gotten me to where I don't really wave at Harley riders unless they initiate the wave. I know that might be childish, but I just can't stand cocky, douchebaggy people, and if they're like that, I don't want to be a dumbass and wave at them if they're gonna think I'm a piece of shit. Do you guys experience the same thing? Do you guys have noticed that Harley riders ignore you guys or won't wave at you guys? Just curious. But anyways, so that's my vlog. I hope you guys are happy that I finally did one. It only took me about 3 months, and I will try to get one up soon within the next 6 months. Just kidding. I'll try to make it like 3 months or something like that. But anyways, any questions or comments you want to make on this, please post it under this video. And until next time.